Bye, Zenora. Don't stay out too late.
No, I will be in town. I won't be too far away. I'll be in camp a bit later. Just
Mm.
make sure he's all right. He's elephants.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Okay. And with that, Sonora's gonna find Griselda.
uh, Being that it would be a little bit before dusk, she'd probably be walking home. You see Valdi, and you see her kind of walking towards the settlers' camp as you're walking toward her.
Sonora is going to go, "How Vivaldi, how Griselda. Uh, Vivaldi, would you mind if I stole Griselda for a bit? Griselda, I have a funny feeling you like whiskey. You
Mm-hmm.
and me, I think we need to have a talk and a drink. And I'd rather not do it with the overbearing one."
All right, where would you like to do this?
You know Ladon better than I do. Where's your favorite place to be other than the settlers' camp?
All right, and she walks with you to a very large hill that kind of gets forgotten about. And on the hill that's grassy and lush, you can see all of the town from there. The sun's gonna start setting. And she sits down.
Sonora is going to pull out 2 cups. She's going to pour one to the brim for Griselda and half of one for her. Sonora probably won't drink. I feel like we need to talk. I don't know. It took me a few days to finally get out what happened when I died. And what was said. I have to agree with you. It'd be nice if he'd get his head out of his own ass, but probably not the best time to tell him when his sister's dead on a slab.
Sometimes you need to get a wake up call to focus, especially if you're leading.
Unfortunately, I don't think that helped. And she's going to gesture for Griselda to drink. I put my brother in a position of responsibility. I don't know whether he was ready for it, but he did a good job. But they also left him. And he had to deal with it on his own. I made him make a decision of a promise or an unsaid promise. You know how the hardest thing I had was the day I came to Lilon and we didn't save half of the town. What's to say we wouldn't have died and it wouldn't have happened anyway. But we did manage to save you. For that I am grateful. You were put in a position where you could only save so few. He was also put in that position. He had to save our sister. He could save one, or he could die along with the others. And he kept a promise to me. And now, I see my brother, who was a champion and a protector, filled with so much vengeance, anger, to a god. I worry that he's going to... I don't know, Griselda. I like you well enough. Most dwarves are grumpy. Look at Vilfin.
Hmm.
But I worry that you two clashing is gonna cause issue. And I don't want that. I like you, Griselda. I like this town. Marigold, I adore her. And Ema adores Marigold. They are part of what I feel is my pride. But I'm watching the emotional restlessness of this pride that I've somehow managed to cultivate. And I'm just trying to fix something that I can't fix. I don't know. I wanted to talk to you. And she's gonna pour Griselda another drink.
I
I wanted to get your opinion on stuff.
feel like this is a Marigold kind of a conversation.
It probably is, but I feel like this is a conversation since the two main protagonists in this whole leading thing is between you and Nate.
I don't have a problem with your brother. I mean, I would have told anyone to pull their head out of their ass, regardless, in a time when you're supposed to have to make a lot of decisions for a lot of people. It's a lot of pressure.
Can I ask you something? Why did you pay our debt?
You want me to tell you, or do you think I should save it for the rest of the group as well?
Well, I feel like I'd like to tell the rest of the group, but I also want to know myself. And if I can, I want to go early tomorrow to Marigold's place to try and plant an apple tree. So I may miss the meeting.
The tribe asked for things that you guys can't give. And I can. So I was doing a favor. You have things that you can do for us that they can't. So I was hoping you would do us the favor.
I needed to know that. It felt... It's unexplained situation causes conflict. And I feel like that's what's been going on. And again, she'll pour Griselda another drink. I feel like that's probably something that probably should have been said when you said that you'd paid it.
I tried, but your brother wasn't in the mood to listen at that time.
Did you know that my sister was almost dying when he saved her? And he was thinking he had to lose another one?
Well, I'm not to meddle in your guys' personal business.
No, but I get the feeling that you had personal investments in what happened with the town. I know most dwarves aren't touchy-feely. But I feel like you have a great responsibility with this town. You care about the most people in this town. I don't want you, I don't want you to feel like you're alone, either. I know Marigold and Vivaldi help you. But there's a lot you don't tell them, isn't there?
We are all members of a council. We have all equal say. But,
No, this isn't about whether equals or anything like that. This is about stuff that you keep inside. That you take a hit every time one dies. you take a hit when someone doesn't come back, or you have to make a decision that doesn't feel right.
Sounds like you do the same.
Sometimes. But I don't feel like people should be alone. If you ever need someone, Griselda, not to talk to, because that's up to you, but just to drink with, to know that something is... You're having a crappy day. I'm here. And if my brother gets on your nerves, I'll punch him for you.
You can do that now.
I already... You know he kicked my ass in that fight, right?
Are you drinking as well?
No, I haven't touched my drink.
I'm gonna see if she notices. Let's see.
There's another...
Griselda notices that you're not drinking,
drinking.
and so she is going to stop drinking.
Does Sonora notice that she's kind of looking and notice that Sonora's
Probably
not drinking?
passively, yes.
I apologize. I know it's a little I deal with fire, so I don't want to set the town on fire by drinking. I feel the need to be sociable, and yeah, I didn't want to. Last time I got drunk, I think I set a camp on fire. And I don't want to do that again.
That's actually pretty cool. Maybe you're the one that needs a friend to talk to.
Friends are new to me. Very new. The closest I ever had was Xenosaur.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Yeah. Now that you mention it like that, yeah. My older brother being the only friend. Whew.
I can see why you've
And
come
she
here.
actually takes the drink to the house thing of whiskey.
She toasts with you, clinks the glass, and drinks. Well,
I kind of felt like we needed to just not have everyone around and talk. I don't know, I get a little claustrophobic. So many people.
I didn't know you're claustrophobic.
Sometimes. So many people are not used to so many people actually wanting to talk to me.
Well, maybe Leyland's a place for new beginnings for you.
I want to protect this town. First, it was to honor a promise along with Nate. Now I want to protect it because they protected me. And I like most of you.
Well, anybody can protect better than has, Yoram.
Oh, God, thank God, you're not the only thought that.
Right? She takes another drink.
It's just me. You don't have that many guards, right?
6, yeah.
Okay. So how the hell does he not know everybody's name?
He's an asshole. Yes,
Oh, God.
that's why. But he's here and he's a coworker and I have to put up with his shit. So
it's interesting. Yeah. You obviously didn't hire him. Or you were led to believe that he was decent.
all right. Well, Maybe we can put him in the front line somewhere. Anyway, takes another drink.
And
She's feeling good.
I will just sit with Griselda, and I've had my drink. She won't drink anymore. So.
And she raises her glass and says, "To Zenora and the Growler." And we'll switch.
Oh, you do know that people call you that. I've been telling them not to do that.
And we switch to, well, I think Radilac's missing, but we'll switch anyways to Nat and Conrad and Radilac. What would you guys be doing? And Belvin, you can come back whenever, or Emma, either way. Just shout out if you come home back in.
Vilfin won't be back to the camp tonight. He'll stay at the forge.
Emma's going for a walk. You can come back to me at some stage.
Okay. Conrad, are you here?
Yes.
Voices from the beyond. All right. Do you pop up visible for them in the camp?
I would be in, because it's tents, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be in the tent that Radilac gets put into already. Just sharpening weapons.
That's not creepy at all. Nat, what would you be doing?
Assisting our poor drunken bull.
That's right. I almost forgot about that.
Would a lesser restoration kind of help with any?
It would.
Alright, so kind of as we're we're walking and getting more towards the tent, Nate's gonna try and, you know, get Radilac to have an early night, and as he's going into his tent, he's gonna say goodnight to him, put his paw on his shoulder and cast a lesser restoration so he can have at least a half decent night's sleep and maybe wake up with a lesser hangover than what we have seen previously with Radilac.
Conrad, you just said you're in Radilac's tent?
Yes.
Okay, so as you open the flap to do that, you'll see Conrad in there sharpening a knife. Does that change before you hit the lesser restoration or not?
No, it was still.
You'd still do it?
It was still like, yeah, I'll still cast the lesser
All right.
restoration on Radilac regardless.
It's gonna ease the.
You will see Conrad and sort of acknowledge that he's there, assuming that he's maybe wanting to talk with Radilac if he's there. And I'm going to say, as I kind of help Radilac at least to laying down, yeah. Don't know if he's going to be much of a conversationalist unless you're willing to listen to some elephant man dancing around.
Oh, he was telling that story again, was he?
Touching bums. Yeah, this. Yeah. Look.
Yeah, he really liked. I think the guy's name was Stefan? Stephen? Sean? Something like that.
Well, it's a very
strange.
interesting story, strange story nonetheless, but...
Yeah. Strange. I wasn't there for it, but he does like to remember that. Maybe he likes...
Look, I don't know what you've got in plans for tonight. I do want to thank you for your help in the inn. You didn't have to.
It
And
was a interesting time in the inn. still think we should have burnt the place down. But you're the leader.
Notice the sarcasm in that voice. Yes. Apparently I am.
Although your sister did kind of start. Lucky I was there to put it out.
Indeed. Indeed.
Is there a bucket in the tent?
Roll for
Yeah.
bucket. I wouldn't think. Maybe there's a. Yes, there is a bucket you can pee in at night if you choose not to.
I would get another fresher bucket that hasn't been used for other purposes. Put a bit of water in the bottom of it and put it next to Radalak's head, and just kick him and say, if you need to puke, it's to the right, and then just sit there, continue sharpening my spear.
What? What was that? What? Oh, it's you, Conrad. Where'd you go?
After the fight, I went scouting around.
Okay, yep. That sounds right.
And then, wait a minute, I'm just...
You have a lesser restoration cast upon you, so you're less inebriated than before. Feel a bit better.
And then I touch Radalak, and he'll start feeling like a warm sensation go out from where my hand is through his entire body. I just cast prestidigitation and warmed him a little bit.
Didn't know you felt that way, Conrad.
Yeah, get some sleep. Everyone needs to relax sometime.
All right. Do you both leave? You and Nate leave the tent.
Nate will leave and just go set up by the campfire.
Conrad.
I'll stay in the tent and look after Radalak just to make sure that he doesn't make a mess of himself.
All right. Did you want to do anything else, Nat, before we switch to Ema?
No, he's just going to sit by the fire and kind of grab one of the bottles that he purchased from the inn and just have a couple of quiet ones while he's waiting for everybody else to return. But other than that, he's not planning to do anything at this stage.
All right. Ema, you are taking your walk around the town.
Emma will walk around the town and eventually walk up to the bottom of the tower.
To the bottom of the tower, yeah.
Is it guarded or are the doors locked?
There would be guards there. They have started to station themselves slowly over there. I've got a reload foundry. But, so you will see them pacing back and forth. And it's not locked.
Alrighty. Emma's going to use thaumaturgy to just make a rumbling sound over in the bushes to try and distract them away from the doors.
Okay. Let's see. Make a deception roll for me versus their insight.
21.
Ooh, 17. All right. So they're gonna do that. What's over there? And start walking over there.
And Emma's going to go and slip an open door.
What was that?
No, I was trying to do that. You're gonna slip into the door of the
Yep.
tower.
And I believe I have a inventory. Sure, I've got torches in there. Yes, I've got torches. I'm going to light up a torch and I'm going to attempt to walk up to the top. Up the stairs.
Galileo is in there, but he is sleep. Well, yeah, he's probably gotten rest now that he is back to normal. So we will go to you, and we will go to you here, and I'm gonna spoot you up to the top. So you're gonna go to the top of the stairs. Very dark.
That's why I lit up a torch.
Yeah, very. The scaffolding's still getting slowly up. They're slowly putting it back together. And
So, the top floor is open, isn't it?
yeah, it's open.
Emma's going to sit basically on the edge of the scaffolding with his legs over the side. And he's going to call out, Mistra, I seek guidance. Please come to me.
You feel a warmth, a warm sensation about you as you feel her presence is there with you, even though you can't see.
Okay, I have questions about what's happened. I'm guessing that what Talos has shown me is what happened in my previous life. And if that's true, then so be it. I'm not sure what to do about that. Marigold says I can go across the island and that'll tell me what I used to know, but to be frank, I'm not 100% sure I need to know. That's not what I need guidance about. The guidance I need is because ever since the first lightning strike hit me, I've felt a boiling sense of rage. And all I want to know is this Talos trying to reach me and I'm feeling his rage, or is this what I used to be like and this is me remembering the rage I used to have, or will it fade or will it go away? I mean, to be frank, I really enjoyed stabbing that guy and it's just not me. I mean, before today, the only time I felt rage, well, the only time I was angry that I can remember is, I mean, I wasn't really angry. I was a bit angry. Was when Zenora compared the death of her family to the extinction of the giraffes. I mean, I was angry that she made that thing, but I mean, I wasn't angry enough to tell her, because I mean, I'd never want to hurt her feelings, but it made me angry. But I mean, loss of one's family compared to the extinction of the entire species is sort of a big throw away from each other. And he's sort of rambling.
You feel a different sensation wash through your head, almost like an ocean wave of pressure. And she says, meet you at the island.
Do you want me to go now, or is it dangerous? Should I go alone, or I mean, I like my friends, and second chances are hard to come by, and I have feelings for Marigold, like strong feelings.
You just see yourself at the island. And it is dark, so maybe now.
So I see myself at the island. So am I there, or is it? Do I need to go there now?
I think that's her way of saying to go there alone.
Okay.
I mean, you see your passive insight and stuff, so you pretty much know that that's better late than never. Better now than...
Sweet. Looking over the edge, can I see the two guards?
They're still looking around with their spears kind of hunched over, looking through bushes and stuff, and talking. I swear it was over here.
Okay, well, I'm going to go down the tower, I guess.
Must have been the wind.
Must have been the wind. Do you sneak out and go to the idle island?
I'm going to attempt to sneak out and go to the idle island.
Stealth check
Oh, good.
versus a perception. You got to beat a 14, apparently.
No.
What? What are you doing? You're one of those adventurers, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I am one of the great warriors of wherever the heck the other place was.
Wow.
That is quite me actually not remembering what the heck they're called.
Years of Finland. Are you here to check on Galileo?
I'm a cleric. I was just checking to see if the tower was still clean, and I've been for a walk, and it's still looking good to me.
Yep, they believe you. Not one. So you, they just kind of nod at you, and they wait for you to leave. They're not gonna really let you back in, but.
Yeah. Gonna stick his torch in the ground and say, yeah, there's a bit of light for you guys until it burns out. And then he's going down to the docks, I guess.
All right.
And I'm assuming there'd be somebody I can talk to.
You can see the boats there. There's those little flat boats that the fishermen use to go across the island. And you can easily use one of those to make your way over. It's very shallow water, so as you go over, you feel like a humming of the island as it's got these shattered statues around. I have Idle Island here, the sounds, and the waves coming in from the island. And as you're making your way, you kind of hear a soft chanting from seemingly nowhere. It's a bit eerie, but this place has magic, you can tell. And you start to feel very sleepy.
Okay.
Where do you want to move? If you can see the foundry. Do you just go and sit for a while, or do you walk around?
I'd walk around that central bit, and then sort of sit down. Like, if you look on the stream where it's got the central bit, and then the next row out, leaning with my back against that, but looking at the center.
Like, put you right about there-ish? I'll unpause it. So...
Yeah, I can't see that screen.
It's okay.
I'd be on the other side of that stone thing, where I am.
Okay.
Leaning against it.
Alright. I'll move you over. Alright, as you're there, you look to the side and you see a wave of this white chiffon dress kind of flowing like a ghost. And it's not there. And you go to situate yourself so you can sit better. And you see the familiar face of Mistra's avatar from when she talked to you about your wish. And she's smiling at you knowingly as she's going and walking and touching the statues. And she'll go behind one and disappear. and reappear at another one. So you want answers, do you?
I do.
And then she goes and disappears behind another statue, and you feel that lightning flash of white, and you see your parents talking to one another. You feel that rage that you've been talking about. Like you want to turn them in for talking against Talos and the cult. You feel they're crying and holding each other's hands, and we killed our son by staying in this cult one day too long. We have to get out of here, or they're gonna kill us all. And you hear them speaking like this, and you know you should go after them, but you feel this flash of white again, and you see them leaving through a forested trail, and the cultists come upon them and kill them. They don't see you, so you must be hiding somewhere, as if you were about to either go to them for whichever reason you've chosen when they are falling down. Another flash of light, and you're running for this tower. It's almost like Thalavar's tower. It seems to be like a wizardish tower, and you're running, and in there you see a paladin all in shining armor up there, and your brother Damien reaching out. He's not dead. He had faked his death, and he's hugging you tight. And he's telling you that he wants to get out of the cult for good. And your memories are coming back to you, and as they're coming back, you're starting to remember all the little pieces in between as it's slowly fitting together like a jigsaw puzzle. You look at this wizard who has held out these brownies in front of you and offer them for you to eat. And you know that they're not the right herbalist brownies that you should be eating right now. He's kind of an eccentric wizard. And he's like, kill me if you dare, or not. Come in. I made you brownies. And you go up the stairs, and you tell this wizard that you want out of this cult. You want to forget your past. He explains to you that you have two choices. You can stay in the tower forever, or you can hide where the cult will never find you. And you say, if I go, I never want to remember. I don't want to come back. I don't want to kill anymore. And he's like, gotcha. Do you mind? I can do that. And he's eating another brownie. And he casts a spell as he leads you outside. And as you're slowly walking out into the grass, your legs get longer. Your neck gets longer. Spots appear. And the last thing you hear the wizard say is to the paladin, whew, when this buzz wears off, we need to send this thing with the others that I've turned into these people. These, what are we going to call them? Giraffes. Let's call them that. Send them with all the other people I've turned into. And they're walking in, and the memory stops. And Ristra's standing in front of you.
I thought Marigold had confusion about what I told her before.
You wanted to stop killing innocent people. A band of adventurers were paid by the village to stop your brother from killing people. You both wanted out.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Draven.
Does Damien live?
He does.
Is there anyone after us?
There is.
And now that Talos knows I'm there, I'm assuming he'll be after me too. Okay.
I cannot help with names because I cannot. Well, I'm already interfering.
Well, since you're interfering, can you give me like 1,000 diamonds?
No.
And he just smiles at her and
She smiles back.
you have done more for me than I could ever imagine.
You all have a greater purpose than this. You must team together and fight. It's not just Talos out there. There's another god. There's two of us, Tyr and I, and two of them.
I hope that I can live up to your expectations.
So do I. And she fades away as she touches the last statue. And you wake up because you did not know that you had been drifted off to sleep. And I need you to roll a nat 20 for me. And if you have 15 or above, you get inspiration. If you have below, you get exhaustion. For being at Idle Island has its price.
13.
You feel very exhausted from this. This is a lot to take in. And it was a very big strain on the magic of the island to return your full memory.
Emma's probably gonna like rest for I don't know, an hour or so before heading back. It's probably going to be a slow trip because he is exhausted. And then he'll head back to the camp.
All right. You head back to the camp and you see Zenithor there with the whiskey bottle by the fire. And so, Nora, do you return eventually from your hillside conversation?
I would have walked down with Griselda back to the camp. I would have escorted her back since I was the one who took her away. And then she'd go and sit by a tree.
All right. So you'll see Zenithor by a tree and Zenithor by the camp.
Zenora, when she gets back, is going to sit at the tree, and if no one's watching, she's going to grab her claws and she's going to rake her arm and leave 5 deep gashes that would scar. She's going to get the bicarb substance from her pack. She's going to rub it in, and then she's going to get some of the spoiled wine that she has, and she's going to let it fizz. And just leave it at that. Just cauterize it, make sure it scars.
All right.
And then she'll stay by the tree.
Anyone else have anything they want to do for the night?
Would Marigold still be awake?
Dice tray. She would not. She had drifted
Right.
off to sleep with a book in her hands.
Emma would find a patch of long grass, probably between the camp and the town. Lie down and go to sleep in it.
All right. We will go to our morning with that. So, long rest. I would say you're exhausted, but you're getting an 8 hours rest, so I don't think it's gonna... I'm not gonna let it carry over, really. And morning rituals and all that aside, you'll have the day as you meet together. Unless you guys purposely want to go someplace else and not meet together. It's up to you.
Yeah. So Zenora would have gotten up, cast water breathing on everybody first thing in the morning. She would have skipped the normal training she would do to Vilfin.
Dolphin wouldn't be there.
Yeah, well, she doesn't know that. So, and
Dolphin
then
wouldn't
she,
even be at the camp, so he wouldn't be able to cast water breathing on him.
so you don't get it. That's all that I'm saying is like, yeah, everyone that would have it. She'd go to Marigold's plot of land. She's going to sit there at Marigold's with her hands in the ground, and it will take 8 hours. And she will be there for 8 hours doing plant growth to regenerate the soil. Yeah, she mentioned it. So that she could get the soil so it would be fertile for over a year. And anyone can come and see her at the time, but she's going to have her hands in there. And she's going to let people know that that's where she's going. She's going to Marigold's plot of land. So,
Anyone else?
and if they want to speak to her, they can see her then.
There you
It
go.
will take 8 hours.
You'd see Emma asleep in the thing as you're leaving there, and he's probably going to sleep for a good portion of the day.
Radalak and Conrad, are you sleeping in the same tent?
I would have gone and slept somewhere else after Radalak had passed out properly.
Okay.
And then I would have gotten up and gone looking for a place to get some arrows.
All right. We don't have a general store in Fenderlin yet. So we could probably talk to the council about that.
Get arrows at the forge too.
Yeah, I was thinking that too as well. You could get them at the forge.
Steal them from a sleeping Emma.
So if you do so, you will spend... I do believe it was rather cheap to get arrows. I'll have to tell you after, for the sake of moving the story.
I know, Vilfin will drive the price up.
For Conrad, yeah.
For Conrad, definitely.
Zenora, would she have seen Conrad in the morning?
Are you making it pretty apparent you're going out looking for arrows, Conrad?
Oh, no, I just mean as she woke up, would she have seen Conrad in general?
Yeah, she probably would have.
She would have thrown him the 83 gold, since he didn't have it at the time.
Okay, cool. 83 gold. I'll add that.
All right.
I
So,
said your share.
for the sake of the DM needing to know where y'all are, I'm assuming y'all are together once you're all done.
Vilfin would probably spend the bulk part of the day at the forge working on the remainder of the axe,
What?
and eventually head back to the settlers camp looking for the rest of the group.
Outside the front of Marigold's tent, you see a little sapling of a tree wrapped in burlap with a bow that says, "From your best friend, Dario." And he's found a little sapling apple as a gift. That doesn't mean she can't have more than one, but you'll see that there. Marigold isn't there. at the time. You see Griselda and Valdi head for the docks to start their daily council meeting. I've got to get off Idle Island here for a minute and change the sound. Leyland Generals. So, as you guys do that, are you going to give your report? Or are you going to take the time to help? You can help with Marigold's house. You see that Emma is very tired. He hasn't left where he's sleeping outside.
Yeah, Nate would have come out, seen Emma, and she's just going to leave. Kind of knows that everybody's probably tired and exhausted from the last 24 hours. He will prepare he would have obviously removed everything before he went to bed. So he's going to re-don his chain armor, take the flail, take the armor with him, the braces, the map and the lens, and his bag, which will have the bowl of whiskey with a couple of glasses, and he will head down to the town for the town meeting.
All right.
So Radlac will get up late, possibly when Nate's still packing. He's like, where's everyone this morning? Are we going? And then whether Nate turns around and tells him where he's going or not is up to Nate.
Nate will let you know he's going to the town meeting. He's going to give a report to the council. He will mention that Zenora has gone to Marigold's plot to do some druid stuff, and she will be there for the day.
Well, Radlac will come with Nate.
He will point to Emma and say, he needs sleep. I haven't seen Vilfin at all, so I don't think he's returned at all. And would I have seen Conrad go as well? I'm not sure whether I would have seen that as I was getting things ready, or whether he mentioned he was heading in to find some arrows.
I imagine if Zenora saw, then you would have saw. I mean, he didn't say he's stealthing or anything. He's just going in. So she threw
Conrad
him the
went
gold.
into town. Yeah, Conrad went into town. He didn't say what he was doing, but he's gone into town. So I'm assuming he's got his own thing to do. So you're welcome to join me if you want, Raylo.
Well, we'll stick together.
If you're feeling up to it.
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you, by the way.
No worries. No worries. So with that, he'll walk down to the town meeting with Raylo.
As you're going to town, Conrad, you see them walking toward the docks. Do you go, or do you go back to the camp?
If I've already got the arrows, I'll go wherever they were.
Yeah. So you've gotten your arrows. So you're going to follow them?
Yep.
All right. So and Zenora is doing her plot of land, which takes a little bit of time. And Emma is sleeping. Okay. So you go in. You have Valdi there. And you have Griselda there. Marigold isn't there. They're sitting there taking in people's tasks and looking over a map with all the plots of land mapped out and marking where people want their houses to be and what should go next. You step forward.
Good morning, Griselda, Valdi.
Morning.
The rest of the party are off doing some things this morning, so it's only us three. But thought it would be prudent to let you know what we discovered after going after the cart returning from the Wayward Inn. We met them. They told us there was crazy storms, which obviously we saw before we headed out. We found Emma Lou about halfway between Leylon and the inn. She was fighting 3 elementals. We managed to dispatch them. Interesting enough, the storm was edging closer and closer as the battle was going on. They were all armed with these, and he pulls out the flail and the set of armor and just lays them out on the table for them to have a look at. These have magical properties. What they are, I do not know. But what we saw, the flails were dealing lightning damage, and we assumed that the armor was protecting them from the same kind of damage, but we don't know for 100% certainty. We then had to reach the inn through the storm. It was very perilous. Some of us got hit by lightning, but we managed to get to the inn. We then decided not to go in through the usual entrances. We found a couple of lights to lead us to an open window where we found a young wizard who aided us further on. We then proceeded downstairs where there was chanting. We found several members of Talos's cult, their leader, which we dispatched them all. Zenora, Radalak, and Vilfin then proceeded to go to another part of the inn, which I'm not fully aware what happened. So he would then kind of ask Radalak to step forward to fill in that gap.
Big magic statue, Talos statue. Bad news. Gone now though, and that's where the braces come in. And
yeah, so Nate will then pull out the braces, and lay them on the table. There was a blacksmith in the inn. These were attached to the blacksmith, and there was some kind of link between the braces and the statue. From my understanding, and Radalak will confirm, that until the braces were removed, both the blacksmith and the entity, if they fall, they were able to get back up.
yeah, she died a mess of times before we took those braces off.
We were able to save the Morticia. She looked like she was being held hostage. For what reason, I do not know. And it appears that many of the patrons within the building were being huddled into the stables. For what reason, we do not know. I'm assuming it's got something to do with Talos. We then found this map, and he produces the map and lays it on the table. First look doesn't really tell you anything. However, the time when we were in Phandalin to get the supplies, as per my previous report, we encountered not only Talos and some of their cult, but also Merkel and some of their cult. On the leader of the Talos, we found these lenses. And he produces the lenses and hands them over. If you use the lens on the map, you will see markings for other shrines dedicated to Talos. With our understanding, these shrines were going to turn the Sword Coast into perpetual storm. This main place here, and he points to Thunder Cove. This is the base of operation. You can see here it's marked. If they lose this holding, it will set them back.
She passes it to Valdi. And Valdi uses the lenses and looks at her and says, Thunder Cliffs, it's only accessible by the sea. You can't get there from land. It's very dangerous.
We do know from the inn and what we learnt from the young wizard that they took someone else from the inn and they're trying to keep him alive. It's my guess that he's going to be at this base of operation. For what reason, again, we do not know.
You're wanting to go to these Thunder Cliffs, Valdi says.
Yes. I believe if we take down whatever there is in here, we're going to set whatever Talos is trying to do. Otherwise, that storm that was heading this way, we were lucky. If we don't deal with this now, that storm is still going to come to Leylon, and that storm is going to lay waste to Leylon. And that's not the only thing that's going to come to Leylon.
She's looking through her papers. Griselda's looking at you, and then she's looking at over Valdi. And Valdi is looking through and says, the town can pay. We have 2 ships in the area. Very reliable. 2 completely different captains. And they can get you there. I can send for them and you can take your pick. They can take you.
How long will that take?
I can send a message. They'll come in on rowboat because you can't get a ship in here with the shallow waters of the marsh. But if they're willing to come today, you could be leaving by within a day or 2. However long you take to recuperate, get ready. I'd have to ask them first, if that's okay with all of you.
Nate will then look at both Radalak and Conrad just to gauge their position on what's being offered.
The sooner the better, I suppose, but it seems like enough time.
It's at this point that you'd hear a voice from the back of the hall. As a business owner in this here town, I'm down for that. As much as I hate fucking boats, let's go get this sorted.
Valdi speaks up and says, I will warn you that Thunder Cliffs used to be used by pirates and scavengers as a perfect haven to hide their goings on. So if the cultists are there, it's probably going to be a battle.
To hide.
Exactly. It's going to be a battle. And getting there, it's going to take very experienced crew, which these 2, hopefully, if they come, will be more than capable. I'll leave it in your hands to choose who to go with. They're 2 different captains.
I would like my full team to be here when both captains arrive, so that we can make the decision together.
You can see
And with that,
Valdi.
Nate, sorry, you go.
You can see Valdi starting to cast something in her mind as Griselda nods. And go ahead with what you're going to say, because Griselda's kind of...
Yeah, so Nate pulls out the gold that he collected from the cultists, including the 85 given from Zenora, and he puts it directly on the table and said, my contribution to the town.
How much would that be altogether? Just 85 for you?
385.
385. Thank you, Zenithor. For your contribution. It will go a long way.
You're welcome.
And Valdi says they can come within 2 hours' time. It's the closest 2 captains I can get.
Okay. Can we set up a meeting with them tomorrow morning? I know Zenora is indisposed for the next 8 hours or so, so it would be prudent for her to be here as well. So I'd rather let her do what she needs to do, get the captains here, get everyone settled, and then we'll meet first thing in the morning after the town meeting.
Oh, you wouldn't be taking off today. You'd just be meeting with them today. But yes, we can do it tomorrow if you wish.
As I said, I would like the full team to be here to meet the captains, and we all make a decision.
Yes,
I don't want that to. I don't want anyone of my team not to miss that opportunity.
You can see her concentrating in her head. Very good. Vilfin, I didn't know you were related to, I didn't know you knew Mavina. Congratulations on your purchase.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're stuck.
Nate kind of turns around and looks at Vilfin, kind of a quizzingly look, going, what kind of thing? But
He sort of waves it and says, yeah, I'll fill you in later.
Radlac leans into Nate. He's like, how many days were they out? How can he... never mind.
And Nate just kind of playfully slaps Radlac on the back.
Have you seen, all right, well, gather your party and, we can have you meet down at the docks in the morning. I'm sure Valdi will arrange for them to come ashore. Don't worry about price. It'll be the same price for either. Just take into account what you need. So, I do believe, if I know, and she looks over at Valdi's papers, you can either choose the ice flow or the dancing delight. One is a galley, slow going, but it breaks through the ice of the waters. And one is quicker ship, get you there. Captain's a bit reckless, but confident.
Thank you for organising, and we look forward to tomorrow morning with yourselves and the 2 captains. That is all I have to report from what happened at the inn. Morticia has still requested those supplies to be delivered. Looks like the storm has cleared, so that should be okay. Vilfin, if it's okay, and he turns back to Griselda and Valdi, upon returning there is an anvil that Vilfin would like brought back to town.
An anvil? Alright.
Yes, if you speak to Morticia, she will know where it is and if they could be brought back with the cart, that would be, we would appreciate that.
All right.
If that's it.
I think that's it. If you have nothing further.
I have nothing further at this point. In terms of Rowlac and Conrad, see if they've got anything they need to add.
I'm good. Conrad?
Everything seems okay.
So Nate will then, nod and bow, and turns to Griselda and said, "When would you like that private word?"
5 minutes. Valdi has to go to the fishery if you want to wait.
Very well. I'll wait.
All right.
And yeah, he will then turn to Rowlac and Conrad and Volfin and says, "It's a private word between me and Griselda. You guys won't be there. I'll be back at Marigold's plot to assist where I can, if for the rest of the day."
All right.
Yep.
Oh, Redlock. I got someone who wants you to meet.
Oh.
And you see that Dolphin's nose is a bit straighter now, and he had a little crust of blood that he forgot to wipe from last night.
Man, your face has gone through a lot lately, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you about it later. Come on, I got to show you something.
Ah,
I think you'll like it.
Oh, go to Nat while he is talking, and then we'll switch around. So, everyone leaves. Valdi takes that as her cue and walks out, still like holding her head. Clearly, she's talking to someone magically. And you are alone. Well,
Nate will go into his backpack and just pull out a bottle of whiskey and just put it on the table with 2 glasses.
is this a Leonin thing?
Don't know what you mean.
Okay.
I feel if we're going to have this talk, let's at least have a drink. Break some of the ice.
Why not?
Pours the 2 drinks, slides one straight over to Griselda, and Nate doesn't waste any time. He just downs it straight off the bat.
And she'll down hers and be like, why not? It's 9 a.m. Takes one.
Floor is yours.
I don't know why the floor should be mine. You seem to have something you need to say. Unless you
I
want...
feel like you also have something to say.
I'm gathering that you're upset that I paid the village, the lizard folk, and supplies.
What I'm more I wouldn't say upset. What I disagree with was how it was handled. There was no discussion, as you made a decision and that was it. There was no word about us. There was no determination as to how we were going to pay you back or anything of that nature. It was a situation that we were up in the tower, we did what we needed to do, and unfortunate circumstances happened. And then resulted in, while I understand your concern for Marigold, and I do appreciate that concern, and I do appreciate what Marigold has done. And while he's talking, he's pouring another 2 and sending another one back over. And has his before he continues. I was under a lot of stress and strain. So if my disposition was not of how one should act in front of leadership of the town, then I will apologize for that. What I said before leaving was more to let you know that this rag band of adventurers now has leadership, and you're looking at him. And I would like, moving forward, that we're included in any decisions that may or may not have a cause and effect.
You lead 6. I lead 362. I empathize with your predicament. A leader has to make sure they're safe, fed, warm, fairly waged, that they stick together. When one goes off in the forest all by itself and gets killed by wolves, I feel that that's on me. And when these cultists come and kill the townsfolk, I feel that that's on me. I should have had a patrol. I should have had a guard there. When Marigold is straining at her job to help people, I feel like that's on me. I need to build more shrines, get more clerics in. And when a band of adventurers comes in to help, it's up for me to direct them. Now you have brought in a tribe of lizard folk that stole my patrol and then asked me to speak with them about trade without any repercussion for what they've done, and that's up to me to decide on your word, which I took. But that tribe asked for supplies, wood, lumber, linen, tools for building their own place, their own town. And Leyland needs gold to rebuild. Adventurers can get gold, and I can get supplies. So I made a decision while you were busy worrying over your sister that we could all win. Do you really want to have to make those decisions while your sister is dead? I didn't think you did, so I made them for you. Now I'm sure that you could stop your hunt for Talos and gather the supplies yourself and take all that time, and meanwhile, Talos can destroy all of us. You won't be here for long. You're going to be moving on to another place. All of you won't live here. Well, now Vilfin is, so that's a surprise. But you're going to come and go. I have one job for the rest of my days, and that's the town and the people in it. I lost a brother, too. And I know what that feels like when you're desperately trying to save someone. So I made a decision for all of you. And I'm glad that they have a leader. You won't have an easy job. And that's pretty much all I have to say.
I too empathise with your position, as I have been there myself. I was an elder of my pride. So I know and I understand decisions and the pressure that you and the council face every day. Listening to petty requests, listening to requests that are impossible, accommodating everybody. So that was why I'm here today, to apologize to you, because I should have known better. However, I will say that my task for conquering Talos has not changed. It has been deviated slightly, but we're now got something in common to work towards, because I don't want the same thing what happened to Leylon happened with what happened to my pride and the land that I lived on. See, the gods are an idea, and the gods are motivation. But when you need to put foot to ass, you damn well make sure it's your own boot.
That we are in agreement.
So, as I pledged after that first fight, my sword is yours and Leylon's. And trust me, the pain that I feel for the loss of my pride for facing Talos is that same hurt when we were too late. And I live with that. And that makes me more determined to finish what I've started here. You and I pours another drink, downs it. We're no different in what we need to do. Yes, yours is on a larger scale at the moment, but leadership is still leadership. Doesn't matter whether you're leading over 300 people or whether you're only leading one. You need to make decisions, and you need to live with those decisions every day. Some of them you're going to be quite happy with, and others you're going to question for the rest of your life whether you've done the right thing or not. So, I don't want any further animosity or any uneasiness between us. I want us to work together, because you need us as much as we need you. And whatever more I can do once this is all done, I don't know what's in store for me after here. Yeah, we may move on. Sounds like one of our own party is going to have a permanent place here. Maybe 2. Maybe 3. Maybe all of us. Who knows?
And she hands out her hand to shake your paw.
And Nate will do the same warrior handshake.
Well, out of the 2 Leylons I've seen, I'm starting to... Leylons? Leonins. God, what's in this whiskey? I like you folk. You certainly know how to drink.
You know as well as I do, when you lead, sometimes you need that liquid courage to get you through the day.
Good thing we're starting a pub.
Well, I know you're going to have 2 happy dwarves. when that happens. And probably a happy minute or two.
Well, I'll let you go and work on Marigold's home.
Yeah, don't forget haven't forgotten about that request.
And we'll see you at the docks. I don't envy your choices.
I don't envy yours either. And I know you're reporting to a higher power as well, which makes your position even more difficult. However, if there's anything that I can do to help in the town on the military side of things, you only need to ask.
We could definitely use some. He looks over to see if his doors open. Some better guards.
You find me people, I'll make them better guards.
All right. And she gets
Keep the bottle on me.
gladly. And she scooches it away for later.
To new beginnings.
To new beginnings. I don't know if you knew this, but someone's come in requesting a shrine to Tyr. Nima mentioned it. You worship Tyr, but a dwarven gentleman seems very strong about it. So
One thing you'll learn about my race is that, well, at least my particular pride, the gods, like I said, the gods are just around. I don't worship any gods.
well, you're fighting one. So
But I'm not worshipping it, am I?
Well, take all the allies you can get, I say.
It's another bitter pill to swallow.
Whiskey helps. And she walks you out. And Conrad, are you there?
Yeah.
Is there anything any of all of you want to do? Are you meeting at Marigold's home? What would you like to be doing?
I was taking Redlac to the forge.
Yes, you are taking Redlac to the forge.
And I suppose I'd extend the invitation to Conrad since he was there. I'd sort of, not directly, but indirectly sort of tell him to come along as well if he wanted.
Ema, you have something you said you wanted to do too?
When Ema wakes up, he's also going to go to the forge, not knowing that they're there, but for other reasons.
So you're gonna meet.
And he's going to don the shield that he picked up and carry the staff with him. And head to the forge.
All right. Zenora and Zenithor are going to be meeting at the plot, I'm assuming.
Yep.
So we will go with... You're going to be seeing Ema as you arrive at the forge. So we will have you guys... Conrad, are you going with them?
Yeah, I'll tag along.
Alrighty. 3 of you are going to the forge. As you go to get there, you'll hear the clanging before you get there.
So yeah, as we rock up to the forge, Wilfin, along the way, Wilfin would be sort of saying to Redlac, you know, back at the tavern in place, I felt like, you know, I was talking about the anger and the rage and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm getting it. I think so. You know, you saw me like smash that woman's face in, right? Like, it was focused, like right on her face, as much as I could.
Yep. You take that rage, and you don't let it control you. You controlling it, and straight in the face, maybe.
Right.
Or,
It seemed like I mean, we're still working on it. But I got
Yeah.
something really cool to show you. Come on in. And he'd head in, and Mavina would be at the forge, finishing off the last touches on his axe, finishing off the runes,
Nice,
just
yeah.
the last of the dwarven runes. They would have spent probably half the night working on the axe head, getting it presented, attaching the handle, and should just be finishing the touches to it as they walk in. Hey, look, I got someone here I want you to meet.
hey,
Oh,
Yeah, I told you it was big and hairy, didn't I? This is my friend Adelark. That's Conrad.
Mavina Donhammer. Nice to meet you.
oh, pleasure. And he'll put out his big hand and shake hands.
See, this is what I wanted to show you. Is it finished?
Oh yes, I've gotten the final runes on. Tagal, Perdo, Tyr. That means victory. Yeah.
Aye.
That's
Did you get
stunning.
the special ones on there I wanted?
Mhm.
On the other side.
Oh yeah. Have a look.
Great. So he picks up the axe. It's a battle axe, which Radalak would definitely recognise as a weapon that he enjoys to use as well. Vilfin will pick it up and give it a flash. He'll spin it in his hands around his back, and it just to show the weight of it, that it's fairly light and manoeuvrable. And then you'll flip it axe head outwards towards you, and on one side you'll see the dwarven runes up both blades, the double-handed axe. So both blades would be dwarven runes, and he sort of points out and he says, right, so this one here, up this blade, is the lovely wife's name, Maneuver, and this Dorset Salter runes here, that's what this means, might, as in like strength and such. The rest, like she already said, the like tear and all that on this side, but this is what I wanted to show you. And he flips it over, and on the other side you see a series of runes on both sides of the axe head. These are not typical dwarven runes. One looks very much like a bull's head. You've got two lion, like one sort of more female lion's head, and then another male lion's head with the mane sort of almost lightning bolt, not quite lightning bolts out, but just shows the mane of the thing, and a giraffe with a bow. Like it's just a small, like it's almost like a stick figure, but it's very dwarven in design, but it has a bow sort of next to it. And like the handle's leather bound. It's made out of very fine steel. Like it's not anything special in that respect. But he hands it over to you. He says, "Hey, feel the weight."
Grab it and admire it. This is stunning. Almost too good to get bloodied, but I guess it's kind of what
No,
they're
that's
for. Yeah,
too good to get blood on it.
I don't know.
I'm looking
Sort
forward
of.
to getting blood on it. In fact,
And I'll hand it back.
and with that he straps it. You can see he's got a new sort of strapping on his back, and he hooks it over and attaches it, so it's hanging on his back. And he takes the corpse slash staff that he has been carried and sort of leans it up against the wall at the back of the forge.
And Emma, that's when you're coming in, by the way. Go ahead.
I didn't expect you guys to be here.
Oh, Ema.
Ema, you feeling all right, mate?
Ah, much better.
Ema, I got just the thing. You know that thing on your neck, like you said you didn't know how you got it. And do you want it removed? I can do that for you. I got just the thing. You might need a drink first, though.
I remember how it got there, so it might be quite painful to get rid of it.
Yes, but it'll be permanent.
Alrighty.
You game?
Okay then.
Right. come stand over here and just turn your head slightly. And he reaches out a hand towards Mavina, who will pass him a piece of hot steel out of the forge. And he will jam that on your neck, burning the tattoo off. You'll hold it there for maybe 3 seconds, 4 seconds. The smell of burning flesh will probably fill the forge.
Mavina
And then
hands you whiskey and probably a
He'll hand it
stick.
back to, he hands it back to you. He hands the metal back to Mavina, takes the whiskey, takes a half a mouthful on it, and then pours the rest on the wound.
Now that's some real healing damage.
Mm.
And then grabs another whiskey and hands it to him to drink.
And he would drop it in one single shot.
I'm sorry that hurt. I told you it would hurt, but at least now you don't have to worry about it. It's not there anymore. I mean, it will heal a bit funky. A little battle scar, shall we say. Why are you carrying a shield?
Oh, I got this from that guy at the inn. I thought I might use it because I could use it against flipping Talos, and since it's got his symbol all over it, then I'll be using his own shit against him.
Oh, yeah, the guy you stabbed in the knee.
That's
pretty
right.
cool.
Of course.
Here,
Yeah.
let me see that. She wants to look at the shield.
It's not a bad shield, though.
Mm.
Not as good as you can make, though.
Mm.
Actually, I came in here for a reason, and he holds out the staff, which and says, not staff. It was
The
a
spear. It was a spear.
spear. It was a spear. Yes, thank you. Said, can you do us a favor? The metal bit on the end of this, I just want to watch you melt it off, and then you can use the rest of the spear as firewood for all I care. I just want to watch it melt.
Do you want to do it?
We can
Oh,
teach you.
sure.
I can show you how to put it in there and melt it down. We can turn it into something like a dagger for you if you like.
Oh, I don't care what happens to the thing. I just want to watch
Oh,
this.
I got a better idea. We'll melt it down and make some arrowheads for you. Make some arrows.
Oh, I like that idea.
Well, you come over here and Mavina will show you how to do it.
Yeah, you'll only get burnt a couple times. Come on.
I've already been burnt once today, so I might as well.
What's a couple more times then, eh?
I mean, he'll ditch the shield, put the shield down, and go with Mavina.
Mavina's going to show you the process of melting. It doesn't take too long. She does have the little molds for the arrowheads if you choose to pour them in yourself, and it says it's kind of your way of giving them their weapons back, isn't it? Through the heart.
Oh, I like that. That's a great idea.
And once that process is done, do you all sit and watch while that's going on?
Yep, we'd hang around and then we'd eventually make our way back to Marigold's plot to meet up with Zenora and Xanathar.
So I'd hang back when the rest of you left.
Yeah, once they're all, like, when Ema's starting to do the thing, you would hear Conrad whisper some stuff, and then the back of Ema's neck would start to chill.
Which you probably wouldn't notice if he's standing right next to the forge.
Who knows?
Maybe. It's very hot next to the forge, so then you just probably don't know why.
Notice.
You just don't know why.
Okay, yeah, I noticed.
You just don't know why it's there, that's all. Oh, I just say you'd probably notice, but you just don't know why. With a 6, why would it be there?
Sure. Random refreshing.
Alright.
Cold breeze. Maybe Marigold's here blowing on your neck.
So Redlac hangs back. Conrad, did you want to do anything?
Ema will go to the shrine rather than her plot.
Alrighty. I'm guessing.
I would leave the forge and just walk around the town.
That's all?
Yeah.
Alright.
After I've already bought the arrows, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Then I'd walk around the town.
Alright. So eventually, I'm assuming the rest of you are going to meet at, well, except for Emma, who's going to the shrine, at
Do I
Miracles.
meet Xanathar before everyone gets there, or is they all getting there at the same
Thinking
time?
you'll meet before, so if you want to talk about something as they come in, I can have them come in.
Well,
during-
yeah, I just want to talk to Xanathar about something if he's coming in.
Alright. He arrives as you're finishing up your ritual.
Actually, my ritual will go till like 2 p.m.
Well,
So
okay. Are you able to talk while you do your rituals? Like
yeah,
concentration?
I can do everything. It's as long as it's set. I just have to be physically there with my staff and physically on, so it's not any verbal or anything. Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Okay.
Do you need me to do anything?
Make sure no one attacks me. That would be good. I can't exactly move for the next. And she'll look at the time. Next 4 hours or so. It's a long process. That's why I got up early. I know it would take
It's
a while.
okay.
I have something I want to do after this. I don't know if you want to join me or not. I need to see if there's a shrine to Tia. If not, I need to go. I think it's the island. I need to find something. I need answers about something. If we're fighting Talos, I need to know something.
Well, I have found out that there is a dwarf in town looking to build a shrine to Tia. But if you need those, but who knows when that's going to be done?
Well, didn't we need to go to the Thunder place? Thunder Cliffs?
Yeah, look, we're meeting 2 captains tomorrow morning to take
Then
us
I should
over.
probably do it today while we still got time. So maybe I need to go to the island.
I think you do. If you're looking for answers to questions that I can't provide, then
Well,
I
not
think
unless...
that island will definitely be an eye-opener for you. Take it from personal experience.
Huh?
I've been
Okay.
there.
Oh, was that the day you went around? Okay. Yeah. You wouldn't happen to know anything about our history at all. I know I kind of burnt the hole, so I'm guessing that any literature that we had would have gone. The little bits that I gleaned didn't have much. You didn't... No one had any other literature about the wars with gods?
Not that I recall.
I probably burnt it all down. Actions, consequences.
I mean, to be honest, I wasn't aware that there might have been that kind of documentation.
I had to sneak into the hole to go and actually look at any of the scrolls. And I had to be really sneaky about it.
That was before my time, so
Yeah.
you know more about this than what I do. I'm more of the one that hits things.
True. Good thing you got queasy spots and not the other two. I don't know.
Look, if you want me to go with you to the island, I'm more than happy to accompany you.
No, it's okay. It was more a case of, I just wanted to know that if you wanted to come with me to the shrine and let you know where I was going. If there's no shrine, I'll go to the island. I'm guessing it's more of a personal experience.
Well, I mean, I went there by myself, so I can't really. Again, if you want me to go with you to watch over you, I'm more happy to do that, but
That
that's your call.
was there anything out there that could do what the tower did?
Sorry, what do you mean?
There's like no one hit thing.
Look, what happened to me, I walked into what I would deem broken down ruins, and I fell asleep. And then I woke up again,
That sounds interesting.
and I had a vision.
Oh? About what? Oh, you don't have to tell me. No, it's okay.
Oh, I have no qualms telling you.
What was the
You know, I've
vision?
been telling you there's a storm coming.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know that there's a storm coming. Is
But
that what's the vision?
That's what I saw. Not only that, there was a galleon, a bone galleon,
Gone, Gillian.
Merkel. And then there was a bronze dragon.
Oh, I know about the brother dragon. It is up in the hill. And she's still she's constantly having her hand on her staff and her foot in the ground to make sure she's keeping the thing, but she's like really excited going, it's up in the hill, it's supposed to protect. I know about that.
Well,
I kept wanting to talk about it because it was helping the Swords of Leilon with the whole tower thing.
whatever's going on, it was laughing behind, looking out on the window.
Laughing.
The only other thing that I saw was a dwarven statue. Don't know who it is,
Dwarven.
but I guarantee you, if I see that dwarf again, I will know.
Okay. Why did you laugh when I said Tia?
Because Griselda told me that there was a dwarf in town looking to build a shrine to Tyr only a couple of hours ago.
Okay. I'm gonna lay this out on the table and then you decide if you want to come with me or not. If you don't want to come with me, I'm just gonna walk on the water and go there. Tia came to me and gave me the hunt to call for you. You had Tia, even though you rejected him, come to you.
I didn't quite reject him. I did not take his offer to become
Tia?
his paladin.
You're not exactly. You sort of did reject him. Let's not go into semantics. So, but he came to both of us.
And he spoke to me in the vision too.
Oh, that definitely means I definitely gotta do this. I have questions I need answers. Okay. And if we're going to be fighting Talos, we could use all the help we could get. Look, I'm not going to be like praying to the god or anything like that, but I turned around and asked him to prove to me that he wasn't all gods weren't assholes, and I didn't get hit with lightning.
Yeah, probably not a good idea calling gods an asshole.
Why? They're assholes. Most of them are.
I mean, we are fighting one.
Well, yeah. And I asked him to prove to me that they weren't assholes, and he wasn't asshole-ish to me. So.
Look, if you want me to come with you, I'm with you.
Okay.
You just have to ask, and I will be standing by your side. any time. You have to ask.
I have problems with asking, but yes.
No shit, little sister.
Okay.
Which is why you probably need to go to this island, because
I need answers.
you're also shit at trying to talk to people about what's bottling up inside of you. And don't give me that there's nothing bothering you, because I can tell.
I don't really want to sit around, and she's going to actively look to see if the others are coming.
But I will say this. Thank you for listening to me in the inn. You could have not dropped that wall of fire.
What?
As reckless as it was.
Well, it only burns on one side.
Yeah. My point being is that I was ordering a directive and you followed.
What? Why wouldn't I?
I'm just saying thank you.
It's okay.
This is probably where the rest of you guys come in. You guys are
And Zenora's just gonna sit there and hold on to the staff because she's just wasted like 20 minutes talking to Nate. So it's an extra 20 minutes.
As the rest of the party comes in, I think we lost Grimskype. You guys hear them on the tail end of that, really, as she's trying to cast plant growth.
Grim's still there.
Oh, on the
Yeah.
stream it just doesn't show.
Yeah.
Except for Ima, yes, who is at the shrine. Ima, you
So-
go to the shrine, by the way, and it's empty. They have a sit-in. They have Torver watching the children.
No Marigold?
No Marigold.
Okay, well, I'll turn around and go to her patch then, even though I don't know where it is. I'm sure I'd eventually
Alright.
find it.
So eventually you'll show up too when you walk in. So, all right, guys, come in. Do you tell him about the captains? Tell them all.
Well, I mean, Vilford and Radalek and Conrad were there
All right.
for that conversation, so
Yeah.
they would have overheard that anyway.
Yeah, and
I
Red
think
Lake's
it's
still at the
only
forge.
Ema that is not aware at this point.
Yeah, and once I've finished with the plant growth, I would want to go to the island. Since we
Alright.
were meeting the captains.
So who's at the plot with us? So
I
Vilford.
think everyone's there now.
Nah, Red Lake's still at the forge.
Red Lake's still at the forge. Okay.
He said he wanted to wait behind me when we all left.
Okay.
Alright.
So
Looks like we got some work to do, Vilford.
Hey, I'm a stonemason. I can get this foundation built in no time.
What can I do to help?
Those stones over there, thank you very much.
So this is kind of what I want to do for the rest of the day until Zenora's ready to go, is get as much as we can for Marigold.
Yeah, so we just work on the foundations and the framing to the house, get it.
all right. Radalak, did you want to do anything at the forge?
To talk to Mavina. I don't want to keep you too long. I know you're probably pretty busy.
Steady flow of work here.
I don't know if Vilfin told you what happened to him lately.
He told me that he died.
Yeah, he did. And I don't want to do something stupid like promise, that I'll bring him back, because you know him better than anyone, and you know that he kind of just does what he wants, and he's a bit reckless, and
I know that all too well. He can't go dying on me. I'll go to the bowels of hell and bring him back.
Well, you'll have my assistance there. But I will do my best. I can see that he means a lot to you, and that you see him for who he is, both the good and the bad. I had someone like that once.
Ah.
I think I might have gotten her killed. I don't. Anyway, that's not the point.
Well,
I
hold
just
up
wanted to-
now. You don't go to a forge coming now around for therapy now. You gotta tell the rest of that.
I have to wait for another time. I should go, but I just wanted to let you know that I can tell that you mean a great deal to him, and even though he's been gone for a while, I think it's good that you're back in his life. I think he needs it.
Well, thank you.
I'll talk to you again soon, and Vilfin will be here too, I'm sure.
Delphin, look, he'll protect you with everything he's got. You don't worry about him. Right?
All right. Thank you. And he'll leave and go to the land.
The plane. Alright, as you guys head over, Valdi is going to come up and say, I know you guys have things to do. They're at the docks. They just want to sit there and have you talk with them, and then you can go about your day.
How much longer do you need, Z?
What time is it?
You can still manage to talk to them and then head to the island straight from there if you want. You're not going to be taken
Well, I'm
off.
actually asking what time. If
it's
2
about-
o'clock or 2:20. She can
It's
leave.
about
She's done the
2:30.
ritual.
I was going to say 2:30.
Yep. So she would have just go. I just finished. You want to talk to the captains, and
Valerie, do you know where Conrad and Ema are? Because, as I said at the town meeting, I want all of us to be there.
Conrad, you get a message from Valdi. Can you come to the docks, please? Your party is waiting.
On my way.
Yes, I know where he is. He'll be on his way.
I think Emma went back to the shrine from the forge. She was there with us just before.
Ema, you'll receive a message. Ema, can you come to the docks? Your party's waiting.
Mister, is that you?
No, it's Valdi.
Talos?
Valdi. Estebar. From the
Hello?
council. Get to the docks. He's coming. He's on his
Griselda?
way.
Thank you, Valdi.
You're welcome. And she walks away. I'll meet you there. She waves as she goes. Do you all meet at the docks
I guess so.
quickly?
yeah.
Yep.
You will see at these docks, we're going to say that these ships, and I'll put the map up, are barges and not, because ships can't come into the marsh. You will see Valdi there at the newly renovated docks that they've been working on. And 2 rowboats come into the docks. A white dragonborn comes out. No, not that one.
Come on.
Everybody's like, oh, guess what? A white dragonborn
Oh,
steps
come on,
out, brushes off his well-tailored suit. He's very large, very stern-looking, imposing. Comes up and nods to Valdi, and she says, "Meet Christophen. He is with the ice flow." And Christophen holds out a wave. He's a very reliable. rather strict, and he can get you there. And he points out to the distance. You see this heavy, long galley with lots of oars in a row and something on the front that looks like it's metal to break up the ice. And the other rowboat comes in, and you see, kind of staggering half out with a hiccup, a calico tabaxi. Valdy, so good to see you again. And Valdy's like, this is Stanzin Tar. She is a very capable and very confident captain of the Dancing Delight, the ship over there. And you see this very sleek, beautiful sails and colors of this rather nice, showy boat. She is a bit foolhardy, but she takes risks that no others take to get the job done.
Sonora's going to whisper in Senethil's ear. Is it wrong that because she's a cat, I kind of am leaning towards her?
Oh, God, you got Chris. Stop. Rum-soaked catnip. Rum-soaked catnip.
Zulfin also nudges Zenithor and goes, I like that one. Seems like my type of person.
Coming up. Oh, it's a hairball. Hey! And Christophen's like, you're not, I mean, you're not actually taking this one seriously, are you? You're not gonna. She's an idiot.
Good,
Now that's not really nice.
good sir.
It's true.
If you don't mind me asking, if you were to have to go into battle with lots of lightning, huge waves, massive storms, would you go into that?
No.
Would I go into it?
Yes.
Before we continue this conversation, for the benefit of Ema, who
Oh, is Ema
unfortunately
not
would.
Emma would be meeting. I'm assuming that Emma and Redalek have met behind.
Yeah, I'm presuming that.
On Conrad.
Otherwise-
Sorry.
So they're still coming, or they're with us?
I assume they're with you. But they're kind of
Yeah.
like coming up, walking behind right now.
Hey everybody, I found Ema and Conrad.
Excellent. First of all, I want to thank both captains for making yourself available. For the benefit of those who were not part of the town meeting, these are recommended captains that can take us to the Thunder Cliffs. It's the only way we can get there is by boat. We need to decide at the end of the day how we're going to get there, and it's either going to be one of these two captains. So, my name's Zenithor, this is Bilfin, Ema, Rowlak, Zenora, Conrad. We're going to be looking to go over to the cliffs there for investigation reasons. We understand that you're both capable to get us there. We need to know why we should pick you.
Christophen nods at Valdy, who nods back and says, the ice floe is the safest ship to get through the waters. They've been getting dangerous as of late, and the Thunder Cliffs is nothing to be scoffed at. I'm doing this because Valdy is my friend, and I regard her highly. You won't find a safer ship. And you guys are free to roll insight on either of them after this, but stands in Tar's like, safer ship. Sorry. The dancing delight can outmaneuver any other ship on the open ocean. And if it is dangerous, it's not only the waves you were talking about. We're talking about enemies on the waters. Pirates, bandits. I can outrun all of them. And Christophen's an ass. Vote for me. And she sniffs more catnip.
Both of them will laugh out loud when she says that.
Sonora's going to roll insight, goes on both of them. So, first off, the cat that's snorting.
The cat that's snorting.
That is 18
Okay.
insight.
Is anybody else rolling inside? I'll take an average if we're depending on Zenoris. You all good?
Are they pirates? Pirates are kind of cool, right?
With an 18.
Yep.
Stanzintar is sincere about what she says. She is inebriated right now, as you can tell. But she is passionate about her ship when she mentions it and her crew. And what did you roll for Christophen?
I haven't done it yet, so I'm about to. Natural 20 for a 26.
All right. You need a 20. So, you can see through his words that he's nervous. He's hiding something.
Sonora's going to go up to Nate and go, I say we pick the cat as high as fuck as she is. He's hiding something. And plus, she loves what she does.
Kind of want to press the other one for more.
Wouldn't it be pertinent to see if either of them have been there before?
How about you ask the question? You're more than welcome to, Conrad. And we're whispering, by the way, so they can't hear.
Oh, I wasn't whispering.
Oh, well, that's fine.
Damn, straight up been there before. I got cat ears. I can hear everything. I
like your style.
I like your hair thing. It's glowing. That guy's really hot. And she points at Zenithor. And
He's my brother.
oh, sorry.
I can put a good word in.
I've made it.
Why were you all whispering?
I don't know. I know the way to Thundercliffs.
I'm right here.
I know. I wasn't hiding.
Dragon asked, do you know the way to Thundercliffs? And he's like, yes, I know the way to Thundercliffs. Stop calling me names. It's really juvenile.
Do I believe that he knows the way?
He does know the way.
He does.
I'm gonna do an insight roll on her, on the high chick, for a 0.
You got a negative. He's got a -1, don't you?
I got a minus with the insight no roll.
She looks perfectly competent, as she is. You don't know what everyone's talking about.
I guess the question here is, do we need a fast ship or a strong ship to get there?
I'm going to be brutally honest. I think, like you said, we won't just be...
The cat lady seems like fun. That's my opinion.
I agree. I like it.
We've got to take risks. This
Mr.
is a risky
Dragonborn.
endeavor.
Mr. Dragonborn. May I ask you, why would you take, other than being Vidaldi's friend, a mismatched ragtag group of adventurers to something that is very dangerous? What do you get out of this?
I'm getting paid. That's why I take everyone where they need to go.
I ask you the same question. The cat that's got a crush on my brother.
Oh, I haven't met him yet, but yeah, that could work. I mean, a ragtag bunch of people to a dangerous ocean filled with bandits? Why wouldn't I? I get to put my skills to the test. My crew needs a change of pace. I get to meet new people. I get paid. It's like the best job ever.
I'm not gonna lie, I like her. And you may get lucky. Then I look at Nate dead in the eye.
I'm ready to go. Ready to go. She sits there grooming herself, trying to like make sure that she's.
So, if we decide which one to go with, how quickly can we leave?
They can be docked for another 2 days. Do you want my... Valdi stops herself.
What is a Valdi?
If you defeat Talos, I feel like we are getting pressed for time. I feel like a fast ship might be more prudent.
May I ask you for Valdi? And she's gonna say this very quietly to her ear. What are your thoughts on the Dragon Ball? Honestly.
He's very capable.
Don't get me wrong, I'm leaning towards the cat, but I just want to know your thoughts.
Something's off about him lately. He's not been acting the same.
Okay. And I'm going to go, well, I like the cat. I want to pick the backseat. And I say this loud, so everyone can hear.
Woo!
She seems fun.
I got a question for you, Dragon Man.
Yeah.
Are you a supporter of Talos? Is that why you're acting weird?
And I will so roll insight for his answer.
Doesn't say anything for a long time.
Ema will walk up next to Bilfin. He'll pull his shield out and lean on it, and the shield will have the symbol Talos right across it. And he'll like.
Nate will pull out his necklace with the pins.
Are you also? Are you supporters of Talos?
Hell no.
Then why are
Wrong
you
answer,
have so many lightning bolts right now? And Stanzentar's like,
I'm a collector.
Stanzentar's like, told you, dick.
But you had not answered the question that was posed.
He did not.
Captain. Why is that?
I've recently...
Have you got something to hide?
I've recently been approached by members of Talos.
How many have you taken over to the Thundercliffs?
No, they've asked me to think about joining them.
Are you?
I've thought about it.
Have you?
I see you stop it.
I'm just gonna say the truth. And
Nate has his own truth.
No. and he.
Alright, so you've got
the Dragonborn. I'm gonna say the truth, and he needs to make a will save.
And at the same time, are you casting Zone of Truth?
No.
I rolled a 19.
Okay, so he saved.
Ema's just going to say to the group, if Talos's men have approached him, then he may be able to get us in there. And the-
I'd rather not.
Are you going against Talos?
I asked the same question to Baxi. Have you been approached by cultists from Talos?
Baby, I don't got time to be approached by any cultist. I'm on an ocean liner, a very nice one, might I add, and I don't see the gods as very pertinent right now. I get what I need.
Oh, hell, I like her.
My insight for the Dragonborn's answer was 19. I burnt an advantage.
And you are looking for
Just to
if he looks like
whether
he's shady.
Yeah, whether he's telling the truth that he's just been approached. Like, is it a half truth? Is he still trying to hide something?
He might be trying to hide something, but he's not against the idea of Talos. He doesn't look like he's disgusted by it, or he's kind of nervous that you guys are pressuring him. So,
Well, that makes me nervous.
Sonora's already got her head that she wants the one that's got the hot snake.
Well,
so
then I thought
Nate will turn to the group and say, have we got enough to make a decision?
I think so.
So I'll put it to the group. Who would we like
Stanson.
to voyage with?
Cat lady.
Cat lady.
Can we see the ships from here? I know they're like ways out.
yes, you can see the ISO is larger. It looks like it has people that are able to row a lot of the oars to get through the hard ice. So there are people. It doesn't look very comfortable. It's just huge. The Dancing Delight is made to impress with its colored blue sails and purple stripes, and it has it looks like it has all the amenities, but it is more sleek, lighter. Looks like it can get there quicker and
It's
maneuver
just shiny
faster.
and Sonora's just going straight for it.
I
So
mean,
Vilfin, Zenora for...
if we're gonna die horribly at sea, I mean, at least it could be stylish, right?
If you're gonna die with your boots on,
Exactly.
she says.
I don't wear boots though. I've got hooves.
Die with your hoofs on then. It's all good. You're fine.
Oh,
Yeah, I prefer to go barefoot too.
I vote for the cat lady. The dragon man seems really conflicted.
Ema,
Maybe-
Conrad? This is a group decision. I want your input.
Kill the Dragonborn. Go with the cat.
For once, we agree.
Ema?
I'll go with whoever you please. I'm not for either, or I'm not against either.
Then it's settled. We'll go with the Tabaxi.
Stands in Christoffen just nods and goes to get in his rowboat, and Valdi waves goodbye. She's very just slight smile, all class. Stanzin Tar, however, is jumping up and down like, yes! Take that and suck it, Christoffen. I will be parked out front. Valdi will send message when you guys are ready to go. Yeah? Anybody seasick? Do I need to get herbs for any of you, or?
I don't
have
get seasick,
herbs.
just don't like the fucking water. The
have
shorter
herbs.
time we're on the water, the better.
Vilfin, I will cast water breathing. It's your fault you went there this morning.
I'm not worried about drowning. I just don't like the water.
Well, we know who we're going with. The question now is when.
First light tomorrow?
Perhaps around. What's high tide?
Captain, when do you recommend the best time to go?
I would say now.
Are we all ready to go now? That's the question.
If you guys got stuff to do, I can hang out. We can go first light. I promise, Valdi. I got an open bar on the ship. We haven't seen
Open
it.
what?
Open bar, baby!
Well, I'm in for that.
I stock things from all around the worlds.
I have to get answers first. If you don't mind, I have something I need to do. Even if we leave late tonight, I don't mind. But I do have something that I need to do before we leave.
I point to the dragon board and go, you realize
I am well aware, but I need some answers first.
he could.
I know. He could very well tell them that we're coming and are going to be on our way. I understand this completely.
We can catch up to him. He's slow as something slow. It's fine. I'm gonna.
High and fast, Edgar.
Yeah, Valdi, come on. We got some drinking to do.
So you think you can catch him after a night's sailing if he leaves now?
Yeah,
You sure about that?
absolutely.
I am willing to
Good
leave
enough for me?
this evening if we have to.
We should inform the council that he's been approached by Talos' men.
100%.
We've got Valdi here.
Valdi.
Valdi will
Valdi can
report
tell
that.
Griselda
Oh,
and Marigold.
Excellent.
I've already messaged. As soon as he.
Hi,
I suggest thinking
Zenora,
the ship
if you
next
got
time
something
it
to
comes
do,
port.
you've got. Go do it now.
You coming or not?
We'll be back here.
Where are you going?
Do we want to leave immediately? I say yes.
I agree.
Providing we are all ready to go with provisions, whatever, potions and stuff that we need. We need to be prepared.
Yeah.
Meet back here in an hour.
Let's say
I don't-
2.
And Zenora will go.
For
Yeah.
reference, we're going over to, and he points over to the island.
Right.
Sonora wants to go over there. I promised her I will accompany her.
I was there last night.
So
Oh,
we'll
I've
be back,
heard about that place.
we'll be back here in 2 hours. Be
Good
ready.
Stories. We'll
Can
be
I-
here in 2 hours.
Can I come with?
If you want, Radalak.
Yeah, I think I might.
Does anyone need anything from the forge? I'm going to head back there. Do we need anything?
If those arrowheads are set, then you could grab them.
I'll be ready. I'll bring them for you.
Magic. The gamer.
Mm.
Alright, always do it now.
Nice.
All right. So, 2 hours. Be ready, Captain. We'll see you then.
Over and out, hot stuff, and she leaves. Oh. She says over and out, hot stuff, and she leaves. I got to say that twice on stream. Great. All right. We're going to go to the island briefly, and then we're going to end. So, as you guys, as the three of you make your way to the island, the sounds, the soft... once I get the Skype back going, or once I get the syrinscapes going,
I'll have to look on stream. I can't see.
yeah, I've gotta do it too on this stream. As you see the statues crumbled again, you feel this overwhelming sense of sleepiness, and as you almost go, you're into near the center. You hear, you know we're not all assholes. And you see your mentor come out the side of the statue. And that's where we're going to end it. So.
Okay. Oh, what a shame.
Sorry we went
No,
over.
it's something that has been going through my head. I wonder more often than not.
So we will get to see what happens on Idle Island next week. We went over, but you know, we needed an extra little bit of role play. It's fun, so. Grim. Conrad, I'm sorry your camera wasn't working and stuff. What did you like about tonight's session?
BRB.
Oh,
You back?
is he? Skipping Conrad. Conrad, are you there?
Nope, he's not.
He's not. Zenora. We'll go to Zenora. What did you like? I know that's a lot.
Yeah, I had 2 moments. Obvious one, the tabaxi that was high as a kite. And the conversation between Griselda and Zenithal. I really enjoyed that, especially when she turned around and said, "What is it about you and Leonis?"
Yeah. Who's next down the line? I'm going by the OBS. Radalak.
I've written down 4 very short ones. So Ema explaining to Marigold like what's happened to him, where he's from, and when she's like, "How old are you?" And he's like, "That's a great question." Vilfin talking to his wife about what had happened, and the bit where he's like, "Oh yeah, they call us the heroes of Phandalin." A bit pretentious at best, if you ask me. That's funny. Magic's expression when Mina was saying about my only friend is May.
Yeah. I saw that too. Oh God.
And Zenora saying that she's not drinking because the last time she drank, she thinks she burnt down a can.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that one. We'll go to Vilfin.
My one's a moment from Radalak. His drunken story about Steve the dancing elephant. It was so well done. And for those in the chat that don't get the reference, it is a reference to our Sunday mini campaign over on my channel at the moment, where Drax's character is a Loxodon called Steve, who likes to dance in a thong.
Oh God, yeah. The picture.
But that was the one moment that stood out for me. And probably the other one was, again, just Emma's conversation with Marigold about his past and stuff.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, and one other comment. A DM moment. The 2 Leylons.
The 2 Leylons? Yeah. I was like, wait, that doesn't sound right. Oh, shit, that's the town. Hey, Conrad. You back?
Yes.
What was one of your favorite moments?
One of my favorite moments was my insight roll, and I got a 0.
That was pretty good.
Oh,
It's fucking like, really, really. Like, I have no idea. And I only got to see from where I actually joined because of the fact my computer kept on dying. So there was the conversation in between Zenora and Nate, and we're kind of sitting there going, "Oh yeah, this is good," and then we all realised that the spell actually requires her to be chanting. So it's like, crap.
I added an extra 20 minutes on it just.
Well, that's why I didn't say anything in the beginning of it. So like, just let it run. It's a conversation. It's good. It's a good RP moment. Why spoil it by fucking rules? I mean,
Yeah.
I think that was really it. It's just a lot of good RP.
It
pretty
was.
much.
It was a very good night.
Yeah, it was.
Zenithor.
All right, I actually got a few. I'm a bit like Drax. I've actually got a few written down, so I won't try and take up too many of them. Very early on, Ema talking about our drunken Radalak. He's either pissed or a master dancer. I thought that was quite hilarious. I actually enjoyed that. The Vilfin and Mavina conversation where she says, "Oh yeah, I was looking for something as well," and Vilfin says, "Oh, did you find it?" "Yeah, he's standing right in front of me."
that was well done.
So I like that one. And And following on with that, another DM moment, causing Vilfin's heart attack with "You've got a son."
Yes, thanks.
Just
thanks,
the reaction was great. Yeah, I love that one. Yeah, that's it for me. I've got many more, so I'll let Drax he's probably got
All right.
what I've got covered, I think.
Ema, let it rip, and if we have any extra after, we'll just shout it out.
It's the last one with Vilfin having the son. When he said, "Squeeze me," Redlac trying to say Lathander, he's like, "Lathander." That's just like, that's pretty funny. And when he said "tits on a bull," being that he's a Tauran, Minotaur, sorry.
And then he's like,
That's
hey.
just brilliant. Tits on a bull. It's like when Vilfin walked into the forge and he's like, "That's not how you do it." To his missus that he hasn't seen in ages. I had the Lockstone story that was brilliant. The DM's explanation of the island when Ema went there, like the way you said that, was just painted a really vivid picture for me. I like that a lot.
That's good.
There's a few others that have been said. Vilfin coming in saying, "As the latest owner of company owner in the town," it's just like, wait, what? And then Redlac being like, "Wait, how long was I out?"
A lot of red light moments.
Yeah, I was unconscious for like weeks.
The burning the tattoo off and calling the burn. It's just like, I
had to do it.
That was good.
But I'll leave it at that.
So I'm going to give you all DM's inspirations. You can mark it on your character sheet. There's a little spot. It's just a reroll that you can take, since I think everybody got a chance to shine equally. We'll have to give Conrad a special moment to shine probably next one when he gets his Skype working, so that he can have a moment. And
he shines every time he says yes.
Yeah. Sharpening a knife.
Actually, I have one. Every time that Sadiq came in and just spoke in the thing, it was so eerie and creepy and good at the same time.
It's like evil.
No, I'm evil.
So I got to finally tell Ema's backstory, according to Ema, who gave me his human backstory like 2 days before. We had to do it, and I was like, yeah, no pressure. And I finally got to say it was really cool. So now we know drafts came from a wizard who has enslaved people.
a dirty bastard
somewhere.
Wizard.
And they're all just people. So that was pretty cool. I had the tits on a bull as well, and Radalek going, wait, what? So that was pretty good. And I liked all our speeches. So thank you guys for bearing with me while we got to meet those two captains. Since we haven't finished about Christopherson, I won't tell you little things that if you depict him. So we'll just wait.
Nah.
We'll just wait till after. And
we'll just wait till we kill him.
What would have happened if you depict Stanson Tar. So now we get to see what their ships look like. So
I was going to pick the Tabaxi. From the minute I knew it was Tabaxi, I'm like, she's a cat. She's going to go with the cat.
Just going to interrupt. Thanks for the raid, Pish.
Oh, thank Pish! You're catching us on the end. Dude, I did that to him last week, so I feel bad.
It happens a lot.
Hey, Jack.
What's up, Pish?
Welcome, Raiders. Beat you to it this week. I'll get you next week. But
It's always Sunday night when I finish.
There you go. Why don't you, while I look for a raid, go ahead, Evil. Tell us about Sunday's multi-shot.
It's Sunday mini adventure, Curse of Dusk Hollow. We are gearing up to, I'd say, getting close to the end. So we got a Grim, we have Magic, we have Drax, we got JJ Beats, and of course Orgasm playing in a little mini adventure on Sunday. Come and hang out with us.
Yeah.
And roasted chicken.
And a roasted chicken.
And
Yes,
a
forgot
roasted
about him.
chicken. Yeah. And then Wednesday
Get to
night.
see the whole Steve thing.
Yeah, that's where Steve came from.
Yes, you get to see Steve, the Loxodon, in all his glory. I don't know if that's a good thing, but on Wednesday, we have Chris Estrada on Evil's channel,
We
which
do.
I get to be a player, and we might have our last episode Wednesday. You never
getting
know.
pretty hairy. It's getting that way. I mean, every episode now is getting pretty nasty with
Oh, God.
things happening. So
Yeah, there's a preview of Ema's screen of Steve. There you
there
go.
you go. There's Steve the dancing elephant. That's disturbing.
Michael's an Ewok is doing Dungeons and Dragons, it looks like. So we're going to raid him. Looks like he's doing a solo session with someone. I think I've watched that before. We're going to do that. Thank you guys for being here. Because it's a 4-hour thing, I'll probably put on YouTube for 2 parts. Yay, we get to read Michael Pesh. Thank you for raiding us. We will catch you guys later. Bye.